And now it's time to kick back and relax because we're going to get a bit bluesy for you on a Monday afternoon. Rhythm and blues singing sensation Emma Wilson is playing at the Leeds Blues Club at the Cross Keys this Friday, and I'm delighted to say that Emma is with us now to tell us more. Good afternoon, Emma.
Good afternoon, Sam. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for asking. So listen, let's start from the beginning. Let's just talk about music. When did music hit your life in such a way that you were like, yeah, this is what I want to do?
Oh, at school, I was always like the most precocious singer, always at the front of the choir and everything. And it was something I really loved. And when I got to my teens and we were all supposed to decide on what our careers were going to be, the only thing I wanted to do was be a singer. And of course, you know, everybody thinks, how on earth are you going to make a living out of being a singer? But I was really lucky and I started gigging around Leeds and York and the North Yorkshire. I'm from Teesside. Nice. And I was in a couple of bands. And then I did the usual move to London, you know, vibe. And I did okay. And I was getting work for being a singer. I was, you know, a session singer and did loads of the wedding party scene, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my first phase of music before I got into sort of doing my own stuff.
So how did the blues music come into your life then? Because it's such a specific sound, and I love blues music. I think it's just awesome. But what? Sorry, I can't speak this morning. What was it that made you love blues music?
I think when I started buying my own records, you know, when you're younger, everyone sort of gives you records, buys you records. I started listening to the music of Motown, Stax, Chess, all these big labels coming out of America. And of course, they're all grounded in blues. So if you take an artist like Aretha Franklin, we will know her more popular songs like Say a Little Prayer, Think. But if you go back over, she's a blues artist. So when I started to do my research, because I was so into the music, blues was the foundation. So I got into more bluesy sounds as a result of the artists I was listening to.
And I was just listening to one of your tracks on YouTube just before we got on air together. Your voice is so bluesy. It really lends itself to blues music. Is that something you've had to work on? Like, as you said, you started off singing when you were younger in a choir and things like that. Have you had to train your voice to be a bit more bluesy, or is it the same voice but just catered to the blues music?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I think you start with imitation, Sam. You know, it's one of those things, we've all done it. We've all listened to Ray Charles or whoever, you know, you sing along in the car and you start to imitate. And I think there's an element of that. You imitate and then you become it. So I would learn all these old Aretha tracks, Fontella Bass, even Ray Charles stuff, and I'd try and imitate that sound. Yeah. And I think I did create a sound. Yeah, I did create a sound. But then the more you use that, it becomes more your own voice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've mentioned some names there already, but what other sort of blues icons have inspired you over the years, and especially vocally?
Well, I like Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt's a sensational slide guitarist, but also an incredible singer. She is obviously a female artist doing really, really well in the blues scene. I listen to her a lot. A lot of male singers as well. I get into their vibe because singing is about phrasing, really. You don't have to absolutely emulate their sound. I love Robert Cray. I love B.B. King. I love Etta James. You know, she's absolutely beautiful. The way she delivers a song, she's got that richness. And there's another artist that you will know her music, but you might not know her name so much. Ann Peebles. She wrote I Can't Stand the Rain.
Oh, wow.
She wrote that song, yeah. And Ann Peebles also wrote I'm Gonna Tear Your Playhouse Down, which some of us might know from the Paul Young cover in the late 80s. But she wrote that. And she's a brilliant singer. She's got that femininity, but with an edge of blues. So I would say my trio are probably Etta James, Aretha Franklin and Ann Peebles.
Nice, I like it. And you're playing at the Leeds Blues Club this coming Friday. Are these the type of venues that you play all the time now? Are they specifically blues venues, or do you play different types of venues?
No, I will play anywhere. In fact, my music is more incorporated with the soul sound. So it comes under the blues umbrella, but it's very influenced by Memphis soul. In fact, I've just made an album in Memphis, which I'm sure you're going to mention. So I play a lot of the soul and blues festivals. There are loads of great clubs. So Leeds Blues Club exists in different venues. So the club we are going to be in is the Cross Keys in Holbeck, run by a group of incredible people called the Leeds Blues Club. So they're a group of people who put music on. And these happen all over the country. You know, you've got Saltburn, you've got Hartlepool, you've got ones in London, where fans bring artists in and fund the gigs and make them happen. So there's a great, very dynamic scene in the UK, which comes under the blues umbrella, but it incorporates Americana, soul, and even a bit of rock. Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned it there, your latest album. It's called Memphis Calling. Just tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I got a distribution deal with a company called Selecto Hits, who are owned by the Phillips family. Sam Phillips signed Elvis and Johnny Cash. Wow. And it was an absolute bolt out of the blue, Sam. They signed me up and then they took me over. Well, they invited me over to Memphis this year, and I made an album with the members of the High Rhythm section, who are iconic musicians. Steve Potts on drums, who's currently with the Greg Allman Band. He was in Booker T and the MGs. And it was just a dream come true. So I made this really cool, funky, soulful album out in Memphis.
You actually went out to Memphis?
I went out to Memphis.
Unbelievable. That is so cool, just to have that experience of doing that.
Well, when I got in my taxi and I said I'm going to 639 Madison Avenue, which is an iconic address, and that's the home of Sam Phillips, I just got chills, and I was in the cab thinking, am I doing this?
I bet.
And I went there and I stood my ground, and I think I made a really great album.
Brilliant. That is awesome. So you're playing at the Leeds Blues Club at the Cross Keys this Friday. Is it a ticket job, or can anybody just rock up? What's the deal?
You can get tickets from Ticketmaster. If you look up Leeds Blues Club, you can buy a ticket. However, we would be very, very happy for people to come on the day and turn up and pay on the door. We know that buying tickets can be a bit clunky online, so come along to the Cross Keys in Holbeck, 107 Water Lane. Friday night, you can see my band. We've got a guest harmonica player called Paddy Wells and a local guy playing guitar. Nick Zvark is playing guitar for me. Friday night at the Cross Keys. Come along. We'll get you in. It's about £14 on the door for a whole night of great music. Brilliant. Come along. We'd love to see you.
Sounds great. And if you want a little teaser, we're about to play one of your songs now. It's called A Small Word, Emma Wilson. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about this song?
Yeah, this song was co-written by a guy called Gary Burr and myself. Gary Burr is a very iconic country and western writer. He's never written rhythm and blues or soul. This is his first go, and we wrote it together, and it's called A Small Word. Hope you love it. We'll see you on Friday at the Cross Keys. Come and see us play.
Thank you ever so much. That is Emma Wilson, and this is her song, A Small Word. I'm loving that. That's Emma Wilson, A Small Word. And if you would like to see Emma Wilson in person live, she's playing at the Leeds Blues Club at the Cross Keys this Friday. Make sure you go and get your tickets. She said you can just turn up on the door. She'd love that, she says.